Stan Gibilisco here. Just a little electronics and electricity theory on a lighter note. Units of electrical baloney. Do you ever fool around with units? Maybe your physics teachers, particularly in physics, they seem to like to do this, and it can get kind of esoteric and in some cases downright ridiculous. And I would just like to show you a little example here, something I just thought of. I did a couple of videos about electrical charge and charge quantity and how electrical currents flow. And out of this comes the notion that 1 ampere of current equals 1 coulomb of electrical charge passing a given point in 1 second. So in a sense, amperes equals coulombs per second. Now that kind of makes sense. I mean, it's like speed can be measured in miles per hour or kilometers per second, or not kilometers per second. Well, not on the highway. But current as a mathematical variable is symboled I to represent intensity. That is the French expression intensity of electrical current. Charge is charge quantity, represented as Q in coulombs, and time is, the standard unit of time is the second. So we can say I equals Q divided by T. Okay, that's cool. Now we can also turn that around and multiply through by T, and then say that IT equals Q. In a sense, a coulomb is an ampere second. Well, that seems to be a little bit hard for me to wrap my gray matter around, but I can make it worse. I can make it not only difficult to wrap my brain cells, all 3 of them, around this notion, I can make it downright impossible. Remember Ohm's law? Current equals voltage divided by resistance. Amperes equals volts per ohm in a sense. The current in amperes in a DC circuit is equal to the voltage in volts divided by the resistance in ohms, or volts per ohm. Well, let's substitute E over R for I in this equation over here. Now we can get E over R times T equals Q. So we can say now that a coulomb equals a volt second per ohm. What? Let me write that down. 1 coulomb equals 1 volt second per ohm. Oh gosh. That is strange indeed, wouldn't you say? Well, I suppose we can make it worse if we're so predisposed. We could find something to substitute in for here, for the voltage, in terms of some other quantities, some other physical expression for voltage. If you're a physics teacher, why don't you go ahead and email me and tell me a little more about that. I mean, the thing about all this is that when you start manipulating units in order to clarify things, you can end up with baloney. Baloney. Go to my Authors Guild website. Google on this phrase. The magnates of malarkey. And you will find perhaps a much more socially apropos idea of baloney. Maybe we would call it social baloney. But that's all the gist of this. From perfect sense, you can derive nonsense. The road to absurdity comprises 1,000 logical steps. Wouldn't you say? Stan Gibilisco, signing off for now. Sleep tight, pleasant dreams, good night, and so long.